Hey Honest community, before we dive into this episode, we've got a quick free favour to ask. If you enjoyed the Honest Property podcast, please hit like, follow and subscribe wherever you're listening from. It helps us grow, reach more people and bring on guests that you want to hear from. Thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you more than you know.
Hello, and you're listening to the Honest Property podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Ruth, the Honest Property Sisters, and we've built a multi-million-pound property portfolio over the last 12 years. We like to talk about unfiltered chats about building wealth, purpose, and a freedom that actually feels good. And today we would like to talk about the reverse retirement, which is opting out of the traditional wealth race. And I think more people are seeing this more and more now, especially in 2026. So what if retirement, as we've been taught it, is actually backwards? Because the traditional model of life, which we've all witnessed through through friends, parents, and growing up around other people, which is work your hardest in your earliest years, your healthiest years, sorry, and defer joy and freedom and flexibility until you're about 65, where no one's even retiring anyway, especially in the UK. Actually keeps going up. But yeah, the retirement age keeps going up, and you hope that your body doesn't need a hip replacement, so that you can continue to go on a plane or travel.
Climb some temple steps.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, it's just hoping that your body, your health, markets, and pensions cooperate later. Living on a prayer.
That's what it feels like. But yeah, this worked for previous generations isn't actually working as well for those previous generations now.
No, I mean, I've seen so much more. It's a lot more common now where couples are going on sabbaticals because they're going, why am I continuing to work for the rest of my life to then only go and travel and enjoy life when I am like 65? There are more younger people going, what's the point? Because the way that being employed or running your own business now is just not the same in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the noughties. It's completely different. It's very common now for people to move into different job opportunities. It's not common for people to stay in the same job for 40 years. So people are now questioning, why do I need to delay enjoyment and life and experience until I am old?
Yeah, the options are just different now. So you can jump, like you said, jump between the careers, be self-employed if you want with the internet. And the constant economic shocks, it just scares you. Well, scares anyone into thinking, what if this gets worse? Then when am I going to experience everything that life has to offer now? And I think people aren't unmotivated. They're just questioning whether the sacrifice of all those years is worth the delay.
Yeah.
They're not opting out of working. And I can see how other people think it comes across that way. They're opting out of waiting to live now because the feeling of the future isn't guaranteed is just hitting harder more than ever before. And it's multi-layered, isn't it? This whole wealth race feeling broken now in 2026. It doesn't feel like it did before.
No, but I do think the reason for that is that we are not. When we first started and we started to build a wealth, we weren't bombarded with a lot of information overload online. I think now that I don't agree with rage bait content, and I think that does cause people to think about whether it's even like, how do you build your wealth now and still be able to live now? I think there's a lot of that online that really has changed how people think about whether anything is worth it anymore.
Can you give an example?
No, I won't give an example of anyone.
I was just curious. I wasn't saying anyone in particular.
But it does make you fearful of the future because of it, and make you think, what's the point of any of it? So you may as well live now. There's no more delayed gratification. And wealth is built on delayed gratification.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
and if if we all have access to the internet, and and people are only consuming the fear mongering content of there's not worth it's not worth it, why would I need to follow delayed gratification for anything? Then why why would why would they feel inspired to want to build wealth in the first place? So it is a bit of a fine line. Like, you do need to build something because you won't have anything later on.
Because you're still planning on living later.
But the world has changed, that you should think about. I would say should is a very strong word. No one should do anything, but but it is. Why would you not think that is an alternative way to live, that you don't have to be waiting?
Yeah,
Was what I hope that was.
yeah, that makes sense. That landed. Yeah.
Especially when the cost of living is going up. And this is not wanting to fearmonger, it's just a fact. But I think there's content outline that makes it worse
Yeah.
when it's such a short clip, like a minute clip, just to tell you how terrible everything in the world is. But the cost of living is going up. Housing affordability is not affordable, and there's childcare costs, and I get why people are not having more kids. So why would you not think about having an alternative way of living right now to experience the world?
Pension age is rising. The rules are always changing. There's no guarantee that you're going to have a pot at the end.
Yeah, especially with the government constantly changing, and then they make different rules.
Hey guys, if you're new to property investing, we know exactly how hard it is to figure out where to start. That's why we created the Beginner's Roadmap. It's your guide to mastering the fundamentals so that you can move forward with clarity and confidence. Just hit the link in the show notes. Now, let's jump back into this episode.
And like, would it even be enough? It feels like you're on this wheel and you're never gonna get to where you want to feel secure. So why bother putting anything off to get to something that just feels so out of reach? People are doing all the right things that the last generations were saying to do, but still feeling behind. And your burnout, your physical, mental burnout is arriving before your success to be able to even enjoy any of it.
Yeah.
And this old wealth race assumed that you had infinite energy. And we have talked a lot before about how our energy in our 20s is quite different to our energy in our 30s. That it's linear progress. Like, you're just going to get the job, but if you're going to keep accruing properties, you're not assets, and nothing's going to
Nothing's going to
change.
Also, if you are in the freelance or a modern entrepreneur space, that is not a linear job. That is going up and down, sideways, backwards, doing loops all the way down. You might want to sell that business, start another business, new line, and start a new line. Like, that is not linear at all if you take that route.
And that delayed reward. It's always delayed. Oh,
that's where there has to be a balance.
there needs to be.
You can't swing one way of the pendulum and not consider the other side. There is a balance.
Modern life is actually extremely volatile. It's non-linear, many lines, and mentally expensive.
Yeah. But I also, like I said before, we are more aware of it because we see it more 24/7. It's more open on the media, online. You're seeing it more. And I think it can be easy to say, like the older generation, to say it is not, oh, but like we also had all this volatility and stuff back in the day. And it's like, yes, that is very true. There were world wars and, that's terrible. That's like very volatile. But you're not exposed to it as 24/7 as we are now, which gives people anxiety.
And I think the term reverse retirement, we're not saying it in a negatively charged or positively charged way. Actually, probably a bit more positively charged, depending on how you decide to pursue it. It closely links with a term called FIRE, financially independent, retire early. And it is something that we have talked about with our mentees before. But because it is important to know, if you look into it, there's different levels of FIRE. And essentially it's you figuring out how much you need to live, how much your lifestyle's going to cost for you to be happy. So you've got a goal to work towards. And some people pursue this really strictly. Some people bake it into their lives now so that they reach that goal sooner than later. But what we want to, the difference I want to put on behalf of both of us is that retiring does not mean you don't do anything.
Yeah.
We don't want this reverse retirement to be, or FIRE for you, to be about retiring early so that you're bored.
Yeah.
Extreme frugality that you can't enjoy the now, quitting your ambition, or just mentally rejecting money, because everyone's got a money blueprint that they allow themselves. But what it is designing freedom earlier, and not maximizing it so you only have it later on.
Yeah.
For us, and we've said this many, many times, time and location flexibility is our top priorities.
And energy management, especially in our 30s.
Burning out is not fun.
Mm.
It's a big killer.
And if you're running your own business or you're a parent as well, energy management is so important, because you're not going to last very long if you cannot manage your energy management.
Yeah, and you need to create income that supports today's life and not just a future version of you. And that might mean practically that you need to create your work to be adaptable. You need to be adaptable and not just live a life of endurance and not enjoying now. So for us, what that's meant is living abroad, remote work.
It's like only saving your money from your income and putting it towards only future, for like touch of the future. Like you can't touch it into the future, but make sure that you have a budget that's also allowing you to live and enjoy life now. You can. I've heard of people who are ruthlessly investing just into the future, whether it's in property or different asset classes, but they don't allow themselves to enjoy now. They don't make a budget for them to also enjoy now.
Yeah. And structuring your days around your life. So if a job or a business is going to demand all of your time, is that really what you wanted? It's being really intentional about how you are choosing to make your money, so that, because how you spend your days, literally how you spend your life. So if you're intentional with it, but we've known friends who've been enticed by their companies and their corporate careers by higher paychecks, but it didn't actually change the look of their day to day, and that's
when money is not
living.
like being promoted and having more money does not make you happy anymore, because you're still living the day to day of the work that you do enjoy.
Also, back to the FIRE number, if you figure out what that is, you probably will, and make sure it's based on your essential cost of living.
This is not based on like high luxury.
Luxurious. Well, luxury is subjective. But
Before we continue, here's a quick thought. Ever feel like there's just never enough time to focus on what really matters in your business? You don't have to do it all alone. As they say, a great team makes everything easier. That's why we've partnered with the Freedom Geek. Their talented Filipino VAs help us with tasks like admin and podcast editing, just like for this episode, giving us the freedom to focus on what really moves the needle. If you're looking to reclaim your time and to work smarter, then check out the Freedom Geek. All the details are in the show notes. Now let's get back to our conversation.
It's on the essential things that make you genuinely happy. Not if you want to leave other people what you think will make.
If you want to be close to your FIRE number now, then you do it based on your essentials. And you are closer. It shows you are closer. You're really closer than you think.
And I think it's just be mindful of like what was working in the past, the way that people were building wealth. Wealth means different things to this generation. To me, wealth is, I admire somebody who's got time and location freedom, not somebody who is earning so much multi millions every year and they're stuck to a desk. To me, that's not wealth.
Isn't it funny though? Because like I think the same thing. If I see someone who's able to wear barefoot, they're on the beach barefoot in like a linen. This is like me. This is my manifesting. But this is like 2026. That to me, success is someone that looks like, because it might not underneath, but looks like they're wearing like head to toe in linen. They have no shoes on. They don't care about wearing a suit or trying to impress anyone. I'm like, you made it because you got to the point where
Your nervous system looks so peaceful.
yeah, peaceful, chill. You're not trying to impress anyone by looking corporate. Is that to me like that's complete?
That's just an exterior sign. But
From the exterior sign, yeah.
Yeah.
But like to me, that exteriorly, that goes, you don't even have to, you don't, that like trying to look a certain way doesn't,
you're free.
you're free.
You're free. As long as you also mentally feel like financially free as well, time free, that's true wealth. But you can design that now by just being obviously there's a lot of factors at play, but being really intentional and realizing that you can make changes now that can allow that life sooner than later. Do you need a massive house? Do you need to live in the same city you're living in? That might be like everybody's saying it's just really difficult to afford. Can you move to a different country? How about looking at remote jobs online? The internet is here. Like you can do things at the tap of your fingers nowadays. Do you need to pick up a new skill in order to do that job online? Are you putting away a percentage of your income into, but not all of it, into investments?
Yeah. People are having less kids. The dynamics have changed.
Maybe you don't need 5 kids. Maybe you can have one.
Have the
Or you can have any.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
But people are having kids later. There's different housing needs now. People are working, just the lifestyle is just different in how they work. And entrepreneurs are choosing sustainability over scale now because that's what gives them the peace, more peace.
And when it comes to property in reverse retirement, so I think we've made it clear in previous episodes that property is a tool. It's not our personality. I know we're called the Honest Property Sisters, but it's not like it is it's just an investment asset.
Yeah.
It's a form of an asset. And we like it because it's tangible and we have more control and you can earn rental income from it now, as along with getting appreciate the capitalization of it in the future. It's not our identity. It's not an egoistic thing for us.
The old mindset of that was you need to acquire so many houses, like 100 houses, which equals success now. But now it's, does this asset support the lifestyle that we want?
Yeah. We've actually reduced our portfolio intentionally because it worked out better. Instead of saying, we've got a million houses, actually, I would much rather have a handful of houses that were actually performing well with less stress. The boring resilient strategies like buy-to-let, I know it's not the highest cash flow earner out of all the strategies, but it is the highest peace of mind strategy. Having multiple income levers, so maybe you have your main job, then you have your investments, and you have a side hustle, and your partner has another job. It's thinking about more than just one method of income.
Yeah.
I keep saying we've talked about this in a previous episode, but not depending on one market is also really important. Ruth and I depended heavily on our on just the property industry to be like our main thing, but that is not highly risky because UK property market, like, and that's all your eggs in that basket, things could change. So diversifying the markets and industries that you earn from is really important.
So just let go of what the finish line mentality is. Like, I'll be happy when, because if you're not happy now, even with like, maybe practicing gratitude makes us very happy. So if you're not happy now, you're not practicing any gratitude for where you are now, you're never going to be happy. And that's the fact. That is just the truth. You're never going to be happy when you get that next house or you hit that next milestone, because happiness will never come then.
Yeah, you won't know it when it's got there. You won't know when it's hit you.
There's like stories of people who earn like 100K a month and they're still not happy because it wasn't 150. Like, you're always moving the goalpost. There is never a chance to just be happy for where you've got to already. So how do you want your days to feel like as well? Do you want to have more space for silence, not, just like a bit more mental space to read a book in the middle of the day? Or,
Do you want time to work out in the morning?
yeah,
Design your work around it. Or make your choices so that it fits around the things that are important to you.
and address any guilt of enjoying life earlier. If you want to be able to travel, or not everyone wants to travel, but like, if you also want you want to choose a bit more ease, you want a bit more rest, you don't want to maximize at all costs that it jeopardizes your health, then reframe it as, you're not grinding harder, you're designing a system that protects your energy, and you're going to feel more empowered to be able to pursue enjoyment in living more of a freedom first life that's not doesn't need to be postponed until retirement, and that health and time aren't guaranteed. If you think that you're going to feel exactly like you are in your 20s as you are when you're in your 60s, it's not. I mean,
It's
that
unlikely.
is unlikely. So maybe think about the things that you want to be doing now, that's like part of your freedom, that builds that freedom now, that you think, I can do this now. I'm going to build that into my life, and everything I can leave for when I am 60, I will do it then. But then it's not guaranteed.
So just to close this episode, we've got a few things for you to think about. What are you doing? What actions do you take every day, every week? What are you actually building toward? Are you designing your life now, or are you deferring it? And if you are wanting to make steps towards freedom-based life now, what small steps are you going to take now for you to reach that? Let us know what you're going to do, what you plan to do in DMs or comment below. We would really love to hear what reverse retirement looks like for you. See you in the next episode. Bye!